Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another book review, and as you can see, I'm reviewing Sweet Vengeance by Cora Kent. It is a dark, forbidden romance. It is the book 3 in a Blackmore University novel series. So, before I forget, there are triggers in this book. Please go read the trigger warnings so no one gets triggered, I guess. So, this book has a prequel like the other two, so I'm going to show you that. 1 second. Okay, and this is the prequel to Sweet Revenge. It's Sweet Temptation. So it gives you a little bit more insight into the main character and the female male character of the book. And the main character of the book is the guy on the cover, and that will be Jackson. And the female character is Carrie. You met Carrie in book 1. And I believe you met Jackson in book 1 also. Maybe even a little bit in book 2. But you mainly met him in book 1. So let's give a background on Jackson. Jackson, we find out, is the oldest son of Malcolm. And as we know, Malcolm's the dad of Xavier from book 1. So this makes Jackson and Xavier half brothers. So you know that's a whole can of worms. Well, Jackson decides that since his father basically told him, like, yo, I paid your mom to get rid of you, I don't want you. He decides to ruin his father's life. And the best way he decides to do that is to steal his wife. Let his wife know, hey, he's not treating you right, I can treat you better. My dog's eating in the background, so if you hear that, I'm sorry. So he basically just, Jackson learns everything he can about Malcolm. And the thing is, during the whole book, he's taunting Malcolm. Because Malcolm doesn't want anyone to know that Jackson's his son. Which is a little suspect to me because, you've already divorced your wife, your first wife, and in this book you're showing that you really don't give two craps about your second wife, to be honest. Well, Jackson is working at Blackmore University. He's a library acquisition, and which is really strange, like how a young guy ends up loving books so much he wants to be in the library. But I think that's a neat, how do I say this? A neat job for one of these guys in a dark romance, because usually, they're businessmen or mafia men. I like that little twist. I will say this, Jackson's smooth. He's got some, game to him. And he's already admitted that he likes older women, so, him being with Carrie is not out of the norm for him. Now, Carrie. I'm going to give this, before I get into her, I'm going to give this book a 3.5. It was not my favorite in the series. It could have been better, and I'm going to tell you why it was not a favorite of mine. I did not like the female character, Carrie. Didn't like her at all. And I'm not saying she's a bad character. She was not for me. I don't know what it was about her. And, I lie. I know what it was about her. But I'll get into that later. So, the relationship between Jackson and Carrie was it was sweet and caring. Even though he wanted to destroy his father, he did develop feelings for Carrie, and he treated her, with respect and love, even during this twisted game. And, Carrie tried to stay away from her, but of course she couldn't. And what kicked off this romance was Jackson weaseled his way into an invitation at a charity event Carrie was going to, and her husband Malcolm could not bother to be there because Malcolm was cheating. We all know that. So Jackson started putting the moves on her right away, slow and sweet. I even liked how in this book Jackson was not sure he was doing the right thing with her. Like, oh, I pushed her too hard. She's not gonna call me. Da 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 da. So he was unsure about his feelings for her. I love how he introduced her to his friends. His friends are some characters. I'm wondering if she's going to write books about some of his friends. Because let me tell you, they had me dying. I was like, oh, Lord. So, in carrying this book, she's a caring person. She runs a charity event. And she's just one of them characters. I don't know. She just got to me. For all intents and purposes, I should have liked Carrie, but I just didn't. So this book, like I said, is 3.5. It's definitely a good read. I think I gave it such a low score is because I read some of the things in the previous books, so it was kind of a little redundant for me. But I mean, it's book 3, so if somebody actually picked this book up and didn't know book 1 or 2, the scenes were necessary. They weren't necessary for me, so I understand completely why the writer put them in. So don't be like, oh, I can't read this book because of that. No, it's not. It's just, it was redundant because I've already read the previous book. So, let me get into Carrie. Carrie's a character who we know from book 1 had a rough life, was, getting abused by her ex-husband. She met Malcolm. Malcolm charmed his way into her, and Carrie pretty much gave him an ultimatum. You either be with me, leave your wife, be with me, or we're done. Well, Malcolm was like, okay, because Malcolm thought his wife thought she was irreplaceable. So he left his wife. Now, about 3 years later, their marriage is on the rocks. I said, well, that wasn't true love at all. And at one point in the book, Carrie was like, if this is how he treated Victoria, his ex-wife, I owe her an apology. What I would have loved to see in this book is the conversation between Victoria and Carrie, where Carrie actually apologized to her. Because you do owe this woman an apology. You, at one point, knew this man was married, and you didn't break it off. And that is my number one pet peeve. Like, I get it's a book, but that just, Like, I know there's situations where the woman said, I honestly didn't know, but she knew, and she even said, I owe her an apology. You made this woman, you crippled her life. She got taken with such a blow that she's now, like, an alcoholic. And I would have loved to see that conversation because, quite frankly, she does owe Victoria a conversation. Just out of respect. But, I mean, Victoria's not a saint, so let's not go there. I think for me personally, I think that would have been an interesting aspect of the book to have them to, you know what, we're never going to be cool, but we can work together to make sure Malcolm don't get what's coming to him. I would have loved that, but that's not what this book's about. But I think that's it. Like, Carrie was just like, I'm not a cheater. It's against my morals. You've cheated twice, chick. You cheated once to get your husband, and now you're cheating on said husband. So it's not against your morals. You might not like that you're doing it, but you're going to do it. Call it what it is. But again, I'm not down. This book was really good. Like, if I hadn't read book 1 or 2, then I would have been like, I'm all in. I'm all in. But if you're picking this up, if you're watching this video and you've never read anything, I'm going to tell you right now. The first book is called Cruel Intentions, and the second book is Dark Obsession. I have both reviews done. They're linked in the playlist below. And guys, in the comments below, let me know if you've read any of the books, please. Let me know what you're thinking. And like, subscribe if you wish. But also, please share this. This is a brand new author. I believe this is like her 3rd book, and it's really good. I love the fact that Cora Kent is putting little prequels before the stories. So the first 3 prequels to these 3 books were free. I found them on her website, but I believe you could also get them on Amazon. She does have other series in the works, so I probably will be reviewing those books also. But again, guys, please share this for this author so she can get, some more readers. And I hope everyone's having a good morning, afternoon, evening. I will talk your ear off later. Bye.